25, naging 24. Ngayon, 21 na lang. Di ba?
21 titles po.
May numero nun na 24.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Ano ang nabawas doon sa 24?
Yung 24 po, Ginoong Pangulo, dahil included doon yung 3 parking lots doon sa Burgundy. Pero yung nakita namin, wala palang separate na titulo yung parking lots na yon, kasi kasama lang doon sa condominium certificate of title.
Ngayon, itong sa 21, may kasama pa rin na parking lot.
3 po.
3 pa rin.
Yes.
3 doon sa Burgundy, 3.
Hindi po. 3 po sa Bellagio na lang.
Sa Bellagio.
Yung Burgundy, di na namin kinount yun. Kasi yung Burgundy, kasama na po yun sa certificate of title. Isang titulo lang sa Burgundy.
Sige.
Salamat po.
Okay.
Mr. President, Senator Gingona wants to be recognized.
The gentleman from Bukidnon, TG Gingona.
Thank you, Mr. President. Justice Cuevas, gusto lang, may tanong lang ako, assuming, we have 21 properties, that the prosecution has presented, and assuming that you can explain everything, fine then. As far as the properties are concerned, that's fine. Then for the year, let's say 2010, this SALN declaration of the Honorable Chief Justice has an amount of 3.5 in the bank, 3.5 million pesos po. But according to the calculations as presented, there's 31 million versus a declared of 3.5. May discrepancy po. Assuming again, sir, na may paliwanag din yun, ma-explain talaga, the thing that I would like to find out then is, how come the dollar account, hindi po nakadeclare dito sa SALN? At siguro naman nakalagay sa batas, hindi po ba, na one of the exceptions sa dollar account is that the depositor gives his consent. Hindi po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Hindi ba you agreed with Senator Lacson that a SALN has to be accurate? Truthful.
By accurate, we do not mean centavo per centavo, peso per peso, Your Honor.
I agree.
Because there are cases on the point already wherein the exact amount do not tallies, and yet it was considered filed through merit, inadvertence, simple negligence. It is not a ground for administrative case, Your Honor. Now, may I go a little further, if you will allow me?
Please do, sir.
Now, there is no dispute as to several parcels of properties, Your Honor. Even in our answer, we categorically admitted, for instance, this Bellagio, Makate, Bonnie Ridge, Burgundy, these are admitted, Your Honor. So there is no controversial to this. We have stated it in our SALN, Your Honor. It is not merely stated in there. When we filed our answer, we made a categorical admission that these properties belong to the Honorable Chief Justice Corona. Now, insofar as the dollar deposit is concerned, we have not yet gone that far, Your Honor. Because...
Please, sir. Go ahead, please, sir.
Because, Your Honor, there is no necessity for revelation of this because this is covered by the exemption provided for under the foreign deposit account, Your Honor.
Agreed. But there is no indication of its existence in the SALN.
Well, anyway.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think that we should wait for the reception of evidence coming from the defense before we discuss these things.
Very well, Mr. President. We will await the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. If we are finished with the witness,
may I just make a short statement? Your Honor, earlier I had closed and terminated my cross-examination. I made a mistake. I was reminded by my co-counsel that we had requested for 2 batches of documents. Maybe we be allowed to conduct
You're asking permission for
additional cross
to
when
reopen the cross-examination?
if necessary, Your Honor, when we see the documents tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any
May we know what those documents are, Your Honor? Because this is highly a sensitive issue already.
They were
We are very-
indeed, the record will show that they were asking for a document.
Yes, sir.
I remember this. What were those documents that you...
About 4 or 5 samples of the certification she was
Yes,
mentioning,
yes.
and also the alpha list from 2006 to 2011.
That's correct. So granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Submitted.
All right.
We'll,
Next witness.
We'll finish with the witness.
So
Mr.
we
President.
cannot close the testimony of the witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
Because he will have to appear tomorrow in connection
Yes,
with
subject to redirect by the
Prosecution.
no,
By the defense, Your
by the
Honor.
defense.
Yes.
All right.
Senator Lacson wants to be recognized, Mr. President.
Bago po natin pahintulutang umalis yung testigo, nakita na po ba yung nawawalang dokumento? Baka may ma-contempt na naman dito.
Aling dokumento yung sulat.
yung punsulat na acknowledgement receipt by Mrs. Corona stating to the effect that she received 7 TCT covering the 7 parcel, the deed of sale, which I showed to counsel Attorney Justiniano during the cross-examination being conducted by him, Your Honor. In fact, ano ba tawag?
Was that
The video will show, Your Honor.
was that written acknowledgement attached to the certificate of titles or
No, Your Honor. Maybe
they were separate? It was a separate.
correct, Your Honor. Two documents, Your Honor. First, acknowledgement receipt by Mrs. Corona, and secondly, the deed of sale of the property belonging to Miriam Corona, Your Honor.
Was that the deed of sale returned?
Yeah, it was not returned, Your Honor. The two documents had not been returned.
Well, you better
Yes.
explain this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we don't know about it. Nevertheless, we were trying our best to look for it. Yesterday, Congressman Attorney Justiniano is also trying to recall, just in case he was able to receive it yesterday. So it was told that he received it yesterday. So we were trying to trace where is that document they're asking us now. Because yesterday, as you can see, well, if we have some cameras here, we have lots of papers here in this table yesterday. So, unluckily, sir, I use a car other than the car I use now. So I requested, just in case my staff was able to get it yesterday, because one of our staff was the one who took those papers in the documents yesterday. So I requested that the car come here. So it's now on its way. We will try to trace out if it was included in those papers.
But be sure the car will not get lost.
Of course, it will not. Okay. So we don't know the kind of paper you are asking us. Nevertheless, you gave us an idea. So later on, we will try to look into it.
Wait a minute. This is a matter between the defense counsel and the prosecution. The court had nothing to do with the interchange of documents or the transfer of document to one panel and its return. So,
Yes, Mr. President, we already asked Attorney Justiniano what's that, and he did not even mark it yesterday. So with the defense, they did not mark that that paper, that document.
Yeah, we were not able to mark it yet because it was in the process of identification. And when Attorney Justiniano, our colleague, made mention about it, he asked that he be allowed to go over it. So I gave it to him, and the video will show that. Your
Mr.
Honor.
Chairman, they already finished the direct during that time. Justiniano, Attorney
He was
Justiniano.
cross-examined.
He was in his cross-examination.
I
So
re-
we will try our best, Mr. President, to look for it.
I remember that there was a request, indeed there was a request from Attorney Justiniano to look at the, what do you call this, the copies of the TCTs covering the 7 parcels in the name of Cristina Corona that were sold to Mr. Vicente. Then later on, the sale of another parcel of 1,700 square meters owned by Miriam Rocco cropped up, including the deed of sale, and that was also, I think, transfer shown to the prosecution lawyers by the defense. The chair distinctly remember this scene. So, but the return, I did not notice that anymore.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President, as you correctly stated, this is a matter for the prosecution and the defense.
Yes.
It is not a document in the possession of the court.
Yes.
This is between the two of them. So I believe, Mr. President, let the two parties settle that among themselves rather than the Senate President himself trying to figure out where this was. This is between the two parties, sir, not with the court.
We have tried our level best, Your Honor, and with all humility, we should not have burdened the court, Your Honor, had there been no refusal. Kasi walang ganito and so on. So where else are we going to go? We cannot institute a separate civil action in connection
That
with this.
is why the court is trying to appeal to both sides to thresh this out. You know, we are all professionals here. I'm not casting any doubt on the integrity of one or the other. But the fact is, certain documents are missing. So, and indeed, the presiding officer noticed and remembers the transfer of this document from the side of the defense to the prosecution panel in the course of the examination of Mr. Vicente, the witness.
Thank you.
So somewhere along the way, these two documents were missing, and so the two sides must endeavor to look for this document.
We will do, Your Honor.
Because there are material evidence in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. I just would like to manifest, Your Honor, that this representation, I don't have any idea with respect to what the defense counsel is saying. Nevertheless, we just learned about it, this representation, when you make a manifestation a while ago, the defense counsel. Nevertheless, we will confirm it. We confer with them, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Madam.
Now proceed. Next witness. The witness is discharged. The defense may now
Temporarily.
present its next witness if you have any witness.
The witness is discharged temporarily, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
temporarily. Come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
We'll just request, Your Honor, for 1 minute break. We will call the witness. The witness is in our room.
All right. Trial suspended for 1 minute.
Diyan na.
Yarin ko na.
Trial resume. Call your witness.
Your Honor, please, we are calling Ms. Eileen Guevara
Swear
as
the,
our next witness, Your Honor.
swear the witness.
Madam Witness, please state your name. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this impeachment proceeding? So help you God.
May we request, Your Honor, that Attorney Joel Butigon of the defense panel be recognized and allowed to conduct the direct examination of the witness, Your Honor.
Attorney Joel Bodigon has the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. we present this witness to for the purpose of, well, she will testify, Your Honor, on her employment with the Senate Electoral Tribunal, the composition and function of the tribunal, the membership of respondent Chief Justice Renato Corona in the tribunal, and the allowances and paradigms that he received during the period that he was a member of the tribunal.
I think the composition of the Electoral Tribunal being a part of this Senate is within its judicial notice. So just establish the membership of the Chief Justice in that tribunal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Ms. Guevara, can you kindly state your name and other personal circumstances?
I'm Attorney Irene R. Guevara of Legal Age and a resident of Angon, Rizal. I am presently employed with the Senate Electoral Tribunal as Secretary of the Tribunal.
Thank you. May I, with the permission of the Honorable Court?
Yes, please, go ahead.
You stated that you're an attorney. When did you become a lawyer?
In 1981,
From what school did you obtain your
from the
law degree?
Ateneo de Manila University,
And when did you pass the bar?
I took the 1981 bar examinations
And
passed it.
you passed it?
Yes.
Did you place in the top 10?
Luckily, I did. I was number 1 in the 1981 bar examinations. Thank you.
After you topped the bar examination in 1981, what employment did you obtain?
I work as a staff member of the office of then Associate Justice Vinicio Isculin, who was then my professor, at the Ateneo. And after the 1986 revolution, I was taken in by Chief Justice then Associate Justice Marcelo B. Fernan, and I continued in his office when he became Chief Justice. And after he ran for the vice presidency, I transferred to the office of Chief Justice Andres Narvasa. And after that, I was appointed Deputy Assistant Chief Attorney of the Supreme Court until I transferred to the Senate Electoral Tribunal in 1995.
And you're having transferred to the Senate Electoral Tribunal has been continuously until the present?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your present position with the tribunal?
I am the Secretary of the Tribunal.
Since when have you been Secretary of the
Since
Tribunal?
September 19, 1995.
Until the present?
Until the present time.
As Secretary of the Tribunal, would you kindly inform the Honorable Court what your duties are?
As Secretary of the Tribunal, I am the head of the Secretariat. I oversee the day-to-day operation of the different services in the Secretariat. I also exercise general supervision over the services, the offices, and I keep records of the proceedings of the tribunal. I function as my functions are akin to the clerk of court of a regular court of justice because you are a quasi-judicial office.
Thank you. Now, in the course of the performance of your duties as Secretary of the Tribunal, did you come to know the respondent, Chief Justice Renato C. Corona?
Yes, Your Honor. He became member of the Senate Electoral Tribunal, and he was also my professor in the Ateneo Law School.
How was he as a professor of law?
Is that relevant?
If you care to answer.
I rather not, if I will be excused.
Anyway, thank you. You were
By the way, what courses did you take under the Chief Justice?
Only one subject. This is private international law.
Oh.
In the fourth year.
Conflicts of law.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Senate President.
Okay. would you kindly inform the Honorable Court the allowances and paradigms that the members of the tribunal receive?
Yes. As a member of the tribunal, one receives a monthly, may I just read from actually wrote it down because, these are figures, and as lawyers would say, we're not really good at figures. So they have a monthly expense allowance or a per dime in the amount of 20,000 per month, extraordinary and miscellaneous expense in the amount of 19,166 pesos and 67 centavos a month, and additional allowable expenses of 82,000 per month, or a total of 121,166 pesos and 67 centavos monthly.
Per member of the tribunal.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many members are there?
There are 9 members,
6 senators and
3 justices,
3 justices.
of the Supreme Court.
You mentioned, may I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
You mentioned that Chief Justice, the respondent, Chief Justice Renato C. Corona, became part of the tribunal.
Yes,
What
Your
position did he, or positions did he occupy?
He was a designated member of the tribunal.
During what period was this?
This was from from February 28, 2008 to April 30, 2009.
How long was that?
About a period of 14 months.
14 months. And during that period, how much allowances and paradigms did he receive?
In the 14 months, the Chief Justice was member of the tribunal. He received a total amount of 1,696,333 pesos and 38 centavos.
Now, you were subpoenaed by the Honorable Court to bring with you a document evidencing the allowances, paradigms, and reimbursements that the respondent, Chief Justice Renato C. Corona, received from the tribunal during the period of his being part of it. Yes. Do you have that document with you?
I have a certification issued by the office dated January 5, 2012. This was signed by me.
Yes. If Your Honor, please, we tried to have this pre-marked this afternoon. Unfortunately, there was no one from the clerk of court to allow us to
mark it now.
Remark. Now, anyway, so we request that the certification produced by the witness be marked as our exhibit 166, Your Honor.
Mark it accordingly.
In what capacity was...
I signed the certification as the Secretary of the Tribunal. This was based on the records kept by the accounting service, accomplished in the ordinary course of business of the tribunal.
Okay, I invite your attention. Kindly show her the document. May I invite your attention to the signature above the typewritten name, Attorney Irene R. Guevara. Whose signature is that?
This is my signature, sir.
Incidentally, what positions did the respondent, Chief Justice Renato C. Corona, occupy with the tribunal?
At that time, he was the third justice member of the tribunal.
Was he ever chairman of the tribunal?
No, he did not become chairman of the tribunal, of the Senate Electoral Tribunal. He became chairman, what I know is he became chairman of the HRET, the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal.
Thank you. That would be all with the witness, Your Honor.
All right, cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. May we have the document? With the permission of the Honorable Court.
Proceed.
Attorney Guevara, your certification states that Chief Justice Corona received the amount of 280,000 pesos for the period March 2008 to April 2009.
Yes.
Is this correct, or should this be 280,000 pesos?
280,000 pesos.
280,000 pesos.
Yes. For the 20,000 pesos a month, monthly expense allowance.
Okay.
/ per dime.
So you earlier testified that there were three components of the funds or the allowances and fees which Chief Justice Corona received. The first was monthly expense.
Yes, that's correct.
Is this an allowance, or is this part of his income?
This is considered an allowance, expense
Okay.
allowance.
So it has to be liquidated?
I think it is, we have the same procedure adopted by the Supreme Court as earlier explained by.
Which is
the
you have to have a certification.
Certification in the payroll. If I may read it.
Yes.
Actually, it's just an acknowledgement of the receipt of the sum opposite our names as monthly expense allowance incurred in the performance of our duties as members of the Senate Electoral Tribunal for the month of.
May I see that document, please?
Yes. It is unsigned.
Baka mawala.
For the record, witness handed to counsel a one-page document which is unsigned, which appears to be just a sample.
Yes, a sample of the payroll. But this is actually the payroll for the month of March 2008 as a sample.
So according to this certification, the expense was used, it was incurred in the performance of their duties as a member of the
Yes.
SET. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's right.
So it's not really income, it was used by them when they performed their functions. Is that correct?
We did not consider them income as we did not withhold, as in fact we did not withhold taxes from it.
Fair enough. The second item is the EME, miscellaneous expenses.
Yes.
What does the first E stand for again?
Extraordinary and
Yes.
miscellaneous expenses.
And is it the same treatment as the monthly expense?
Yes, there is also a certification in the payroll that states this is to certify that expenditures to be reimbursed without the need of presenting receipts for purposes within the contemplation of Section 25 and other related sections of Republic Act Number 9401 or similar provisions of the General Appropriations Act are necessary, lawful, and correct, and were incurred by reason of and or in the furtherance of the performance of the functions and duties of my position as chairman or member of the Senate Electoral Tribunal.
May I see that document, please?
May we request, Your Honor, that the two documents now presented by the witness be respectively marked as our Exhibit 167 and 168 for the defense.
Mark them accordingly.
And so, as with the first item, this is also an expense. It's not part of his income, correct?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
And the last entry is what you term as the additional allowance.
This is the additional allowable expense. Again, we have the certification. This is to certify that the additional allowable expenses being received herein are necessary, lawful, and correct, and incurred by reason of or in the furtherance of the performance of the function and duties of my position as chairman or member of the Senate Electoral Tribunal.
May I see that document again, please?
Oh, additional copy. We request, Your Honor, that the last document read by the witness be marked as Exhibit 169.
Mark it accordingly.
Your Honor, for the prosecution, we are also requesting that the last 3 documents presented by the witness be marked as our exhibits